Hi, I'm Alex from the Southern Ukulele Store, and it's nearly Christmas as I film this. We've got a few hours left and the shop's just about to open on Christmas Eve. And last week, Phil, Gunsy and I, we were stood around and we just had a good chat about our top 10 ukuleles for the year 2018. Which ukuleles stood out at their price range, value for money against quality, overall quality. There are a few different variables that made things enter that list, but on the whole, we agreed on most of them. I think there were maybe one or two that would have made Phil's list that didn't make mine, and maybe one of those would have made Gunsy's list. And I really hoped that I would this morning sit down with both of them in front of the camera and we could talk about the top 10. But alas, it's Christmas Eve. They didn't want to get out of bed early. I have a toddler that makes me get out of bed early, so I'm here. I'm going to do a top 10 for you now. I'm going to run down from 10 to 6 fairly quickly, and then we'll put a bit of an emphasis on 5 to 1, and later on when Gunsy or Phil are in the shop, I'll get them to play a bit for you on each one. And yeah, if you're looking for a ukulele in the new year, perhaps this is the launching point you need. I'm really excited to do this because the ukulele at the top of our list might not be the ukulele you'd expect, or a ukulele that you think would make the list might not be there. And that's exciting too. I did a bit of a poll on Facebook, and if anyone goes back through and looks through that post, there are a couple that stand out, and as a result, those ukuleles have made the list that maybe haven't. So real players, not just people who work in a music shop, have influenced what makes this list in some way. So I'm going to read the top 10 out to you now, and let's see where we go. Okay, number 10, let's talk about the Eastman EU3S, EU3C and EU3T. This is one model that Eastman currently make that spans the three common ukulele sizes, the GCEA sizes. And the EU3S ticks the box because it's under £500. It comes in a hard case, it's got a nitrocellulose finish, which would normally double the price, and gives it a completely unique place in the market, because an Eastman isn't going to win out every time, but if you put an Eastman against similarly priced ukuleles like the Pono MS or the AS, the Eastman has that vintage vibe that people are looking for, and it's great. The only problem we have with the Eastmans is that they don't make enough of them. They've just recently won Guitar of the Year, I think for acoustic and for electric guitar, and if there was a bracket for Ukulele of the Year that I could award to, I'd be putting them forward. There's 9 other ukuleles on this list above the Eastmans, but none of them do the job that the Eastman does. If you want something that's kind of vintage but modern, and you want something affordable, check out the Eastmans. I can't recommend them enough. Okay, the ukulele at number 9 is the Gold Tone Little Gem Banjo Ukulele. Now, I'm just going to get it out of the way. The reason I'm recording this in the office is that I've come to edit the video and I can't find the footage for me talking about the Gold Tone. The Gold Tone is a banjo ukulele that manages to sit at a price point cheaper than 99% of the other banjo ukuleles out there. But it's quirky, it's fun, it's different, and so many people throughout the year have come into the shop and chosen the Gold Tone Little Gem over a traditional looking banjolele or a fluke or a firefly or a deering, just because, you know, it was £100 cheaper than the other option out there. The quality was there, and fine, you know, not everybody's after one that's purple, red, blue, but that clear option's always there as well. So yeah, for a bit of fun, but kind of dragging the banjo ukulele kicking and screaming into the 21st century, you have to check out the Gold Tone Little Gems. Number 8 on the list today is the KaNile'a SUS Custom Ukuleles. Now, this is a range of ukuleles that we've just recently received and have made by KaNile'a over in Hawaii. They're not cheap ukuleles, but they are an affordable Hawaiian ukulele. If you want a Hawaiian ukulele that has all the benefits of that modern UV gloss and the build quality and the touch relief bracing, but you want something that has a wood combination that is practical for a gigging musician, check them out. I could talk about them for days. You've got Alaskan rainbow cedar tops, you've got mahogany back and sides. They look gorgeous, they sound gorgeous. I had one. And I have no hesitation in recommending them to anybody. They're like a Swiss Army knife ukulele. They'll do the job that you need them to do. I won't bat on about them forever. There's a video link in the description for kind of the full range of that ukulele, but we'll move on to the next one. Okay, number 7 on the list today is the Clara KA-ATP-CTG. This ukulele is everywhere. You can find hundreds of people playing them on YouTube. It's not a new instrument, but what puts it in this top 10 list is the consistency. Throughout the year, we might have 20 or 30 Clara deliveries. They're a brand that we have deliveries of frequently. And the ATP-CTG is the best-selling Clara model we sell. It's the ukulele that, for its price, which is well under £300, ticks the boxes that most players have when they walk into the shop or when they call up or when they're looking online. It sounds good, it looks good, it feels good. It has a slotted headstock, a solid cedar top, laminate acacia back and sides, that really gorgeous Padauk red binding that makes it look unique. It's the ukulele that I think other manufacturers are trying to kind of make headway on now themselves. It's something that is fairly revolutionary from Clara, a brand that have a massive catalogue. It's the ukulele that stands out the best. Number 6 is the Sumi 5A Sakura tenor ukulele. Now this ukulele was not cheap. It is an expensive ukulele built the old-fashioned way. Okay, number 6 on this list is the Sumi 5A KoA tenor. Now I saw this ukulele at the NAMM show. I had to include it on this list, even though I don't have it here today to hold in my hands and play for you all. We had 2 arrive throughout the year, and both of them sold within a day. A beautiful ukulele. I hope to get more at the NAMM show this year. It's top of my list of things to bring back from the NAMM show. The Sumi brand is relatively new in the UK. We've had 5 ukuleles now. All of them would feature on this list if we'd had the rest of them in 2018. It's probably my favourite ukulele of the year, and if money was no object, it would be the ukulele that I would prize in my collection, and I'm sure a lot of you out there would too. Take a look at some of the photos. There's a video link in the description from when we had one in stock. Yeah, look out for more of them in 2019. Number 5 on the list today is the KoAloha OPO KTO10S. Now I'm finding this the hardest one to talk about in this video because there's so many things that make the OPO special. It sits quite uniquely price-wise. You know, I don't like talking too much about prices at the end of 2018 because things could change dramatically by the end of 2019. But for under £800, the OPO sits quite uniquely. You have other ukuleles around this price. You've got some Pro Classic Pono models, you've got AnueNue models, but the OPO feels exactly the same as the Hawaiian KoAloha KTM00. So the iconic Hawaiian-made KoA tenor that has a unique rib bracing, a unique shape, a unique sound hole, unique tuners. The neck has a completely unique profile. A KoAloha is unique. And what they've done with the OPO range is they've taken those unique traits and build qualities and, well, trademarks, those things that make them special, and they've transferred them over to a factory in Thailand to produce a range of instruments that are more affordable. And the OPO just blows it away. You can look at other ukuleles under £1,000, but the ukulele that most people leave the shop with when they do that is the OPO. Not specifically the KTO10S, but that is just the jewel. It's the pick of the bunch there. That spruce top offers you a true alternative. You know, you look at premium ukuleles and they're almost always high-end KoA ukuleles, and you get custom options above that price which are made of spruce. What the OPO does is it brings this spruce option into a price bracket that is more affordable than the Clara alternative, and it becomes just that. It becomes the alternative. An OPO is no less special than the Hawaiian-made KTM-00. The KTO-10S, the spruce top and acacia back and sides, produces a really earthy, a really vibrant sound. It holds its own in a band situation. You can finger pick it, you can strum it. Spruce is not, as cosmetically the wood that everybody's looking for, but I would say in a year, more people walk into the shop expecting to buy a Hawaiian-made ukulele and leave with the OPO than any other ukulele. The OPO has something kind of magnetizing about it that you see it from a distance and you just know it's going to sound good and feel good. And I've not played one in 3 years of selling them that hasn't been spectacular. I have nearly pulled the trigger 2 or 3 times myself in buying one, and on 2 occasions, as I thought about that, we've sold the last one. They're great. They're not cheap, but if you're looking for a high-end ukulele under £1,000, it has to be something that you take a look at.
Fine, I think I'll be fine.
Clap.
Number 4, another ukulele that is not a surprise, the Blackbird Clara. The Blackbird Clara has been around for a few years now. We've been stocking them here at SUS since 2014. They're made in San Francisco, and they are made using a modern technique with resin and fibre, where you put a kind of woven material using natural ingredients into effectively a kiln, and you bake a ukulele. And the material that you get at the end of it, known as koa, tonally sounds like koa. It looks unique, but it does look traditional at the same time. There's something about the Blackbird Clara that makes it stand apart from other modern takes on instrument manufacturing, and it's that it bases its design on some of the quirky parts of the past. It's not trying to be old, it's not trying to be new. It's trying to be something that fits right into a ukulele player's collection. So the Blackbird Clara is almost a pineapple shape. It's not quite a pineapple shape. It's almost a Vita shape. It's not quite a Vita shape. It's the Clara shape. That's great. Why wouldn't you like that? The Blackbird Clara has a rich light fingerboard and bridge. Rich light in feel resembles closely ebony, but it's a man-made material. It's not something where we're cutting down a tree to make it. And Blackbird's whole ethos and how they build their instruments, they are building instruments that are admittedly not cheap, but they are building instruments the way that will be sustainable for the future. I truly think, every year something comes along where I hold it and I play it and I think, this is the ukulele that in 100 years people will be going, oh wow, and paying a lot of money at auction for the ukulele that kind of changed things. A lot of people feel the same way about the Blackbird Clara. It's got a deep sound for a concert. It's a very modern sounding ukulele. A lot of them come out of the factory to us strung low G, but high G, you've got a kind of crispness to them. They don't sound synthetic. They sound warm, they sound mature, and it's amazing to think that sometimes you could play one that feels all of these things and it could have been made less than 3 months ago. The Blackbird Clara has been on the top of the list for a few years here at SUS, so it kind of dips and peaks in interest, but back in June I did a video where I featured the Blackbird Clara with 13 or 14 concert ukuleles, and the Blackbird Clara was so popular at the end of that video that I pre-sold my next delivery that didn't come for another 4 months. So the Blackbird Clara is excellent. A customer has actually left one with us so that I can play one for the video for you today. So I'm going to hand over to one of the boys. They're going to play it for you. But if you're after a high-end ukulele that's different, check out the Blackbird Clara.
Sorry.
Clap. number 3 is the Snail SUT-M3. Now, you probably thought this would be a bit further up the list, but pound for pound this year, Snail has produced instruments that completely defy your expectations. It's no secret that we're living in a time where, you know, income is staying the same and the price of things is going up. It's unavoidable. It's something we're all living with, and it's all something we're all dealing with. But I think that there is an underlying expectation in people's. Certainly, I can speak from my own experience. If I walk into a music shop, I see an instrument on the wall, and I have an idea in my head of what it would cost. And what's happened over the last couple of years is that, through no one's fault, the price of manufacturing instruments and the world we live in and all of those different variables coming together means that that instrument is now normally about 10 or 15% more than I am expecting to spend. And certainly in quite a few customers' cases, it's more than they are willing to spend. I mean, I'm a bit of a mug, and if I get in love with an instrument, I justify that extra 10%. Where was I going with this? Okay, but not everyone will. And the SUT-M3 is the first ukulele that's come along this year that price-wise lines up with the expectations of the customers walking through the door and the staff selling them the instruments. So the Snail SUT-M3, around £250, is all solid mahogany with a gloss finish, an ebony fingerboard and bridge, good machine heads, good strings, fluorocarbon strings, in a gig bag. That's amazing. That's everything you would want for £250. There are other ukuleles out there doing that, but they're not doing it quite to the same degree. So what the Snail does quite cleverly is it draws you in with the looks. First of all, that gloss finish is absolutely fantastic. Like, not everyone's after a gloss finish, and that's fine. Go for an Ohana TK38 or go for a Clara SMHT, but I think if you're spending £250, you want the instrument to look cool and you want it to sound good. And the SUT-M3 is still very light. It doesn't feel overbuilt. It's fairly compact compared to a lot of other tenors. It's more of a Japanese style tenor ukulele than an American style kind of big Hawaiian tenor. And Snail have just made a great ukulele there. The SUT-M3 is a fantastic point for somebody that has maybe bought their first ukulele and has taken it seriously, and they've gone, okay, do you know what, I'm going to buy a nice ukulele now. But you're still not ready to maybe go up to something like a Pono or something around £300-400. If that's the case, the Snail SUT-M3 is your best bet. If you're buying blind without trying these instruments, that would be the one that I would recommend to you if you rang the shop today. There are other ukuleles that are good, like I said. If you want a satin finish, go for a different model. But if you look at the SUT-M3 in pictures and you go, wow, I like that, you will like how it sounds. I don't think I've met a customer yet that was disappointed with it. The SUC-M3, which is the concert equivalent, is also good, but I think that there are more people looking for a solid wood tenor under £300 towards the tail end of 2018, and it's something that has been consistent throughout the year. So I'll stop talking. I'm going to let one of the guys play the SUT-M3 for you, but I highly recommend it. Double thumbs up here from Sus, and it's number 3 on our top 10 of ukuleles for 2018. Okay, number 2 on our list is the AnueNue UT200 Moonbird tenor. Now, you shouldn't be surprised that the Moonbird tenor made the list. Whether you've just started ukulele or you've been playing for 30 years or you've been playing for 7 years or you're somebody that has one ukulele and doesn't really do much research online, somehow, some way, you have seen the AnueNue UT200 and you have gone, oh, that's nice. We all do. I have. Members of staff here have. Customers that have come in looking for instruments that are a fraction of the price. They still want to see the AnueNue. The UT200 is very now. It's built to look like a ukulele or an instrument will look in 2018. And that's really hard to pull off with an acoustic instrument, because if you look at the wall of your local music shop or you look at YouTube, most things that we are attached to as a consumerist population, they are based on nostalgia, and they're based on designs that are sometimes 100 years old or more. You know, there are so many people that walk in the shop and they're after a vintage Martin, or they're after something that reminds them of a Kamaka. And what the AnueNue has done quite cleverly is they've found Swiss moon spruce. They found a fantastic, very light coloured, very tonal spruce top, and they've paired it with Indian rosewood back and sides. They've gone for a combination of wood that is not in any way revolutionary, but they've styled it with that really beautiful decoration around the sound hole and the rosewood binding that kind of tapers and contorts and distorts the instrument so that it doesn't look very uniform. And no one else has really done that in quite the same way. Plenty of people have tried, but you feel like a master craftsman built the UT200. But the price doesn't necessarily reflect that. Now, it's not a cheap ukulele at over £1,000, but if you were to have the Hawaiian-made equivalent of this ukulele, you might be looking at £4,000 or £5,000. It's not unheard of for AnueNue to build instruments for other dealers. Another dealer in the UK called World of Ukes. He's had AnueNue instruments that have been £8,000. This factory is very specialist, and all you have to do is look at the UT200 from 100 metres away, and you can see from the outline of it that this is a master instrument. And that's why people love it, I think. The sound helps, the look helps, the planetary tuners going through the back helps. All of those little things help. But if in 2019 you are looking for a high-end ukulele, but you don't want to spend £2,000, £3,000 plus, you want something that isn't KoA or Mahogany, the AnueNue UT200 is just fantastic, and we all highly recommend it here at SUS. Number 1, the Snail SUC-M1. This is a laminate ukulele with a gloss finish that looks great, completely had everybody fooled that they thought it was a solid top. You'll find quite a few websites still list it as a solid top because it just has so much going for it for a ukulele well under £200 that you just would not expect it to be a beginners to intermediate priced level uke. It's a ukulele that all through this Christmas people have been going, I've got £150 to spend, I want a ukulele for a beginner, and I recommend the Snail, and they go, well, have you got any other choices? And I give them other choices, but those other choices are normally £100 more, because I think that the Snail SUC-M1 competes so well against other ukuleles at that price. It's not going to be the ukulele for everybody, but I think if you want an instrument that is finished well, sounds good, plays well, has good tuners, gloss finish, so it's nice and bright, has good strings. All of those little component costs together really make an instrument that you can kind of confidently spend money on. I think for its price, you know, it's not immune to flaws. Like, you do see some with a little bit of a glue mark here and there that can't be cleaned off, but they never have cosmetic flaws that are at the detriment to the overall package, and that is so rare, because as much as I love Clara and I love Ohana and I love Pono, and I used to love Lanikai, and you've got V-Tab, and you've got Fluke, and you've got Ortega. All of these ukuleles they feel well priced. The Snail just feels better priced than it should. So yeah, the Snail SUC-M1. If you know somebody looking at taking up the ukulele in the new year, or if you're somebody that's after a ukulele they can chuck in the back of the car and not worry too much about it getting too cold, or you know, you're taking it travelling and you don't want it to get damaged by different humidity, the Snail SUC-M1. The SUT-M1, the tenor equivalent, which also deserves to be on this list, but you can't put two of the same model on, that's wrong. If you're a tenor beginner, I highly recommend the SUT-M1 as well, but if you want the best ukulele under £200 for a beginner, as of the end of 2018, I wholeheartedly pin all of my hopes and dreams on the Snail SUC-M1 for you. Fantastic ukulele, the whole staff here can agree, and yeah, I think it should be a ukulele that's mandatory in everyone's collection.